Okay. Welcome to A Miracle Mindset for Men. I am your host, Hayru Dre, aka Dre, aka Handsome Hayru. Today I have a very special guest today. My brother, Radiohead Rich, aka Father Rich, aka Brother Rich, aka Black Magic 363. What's going on, Rich? How you doing today, man?
Hey, listen, man, I'm doing great. I actually was supposed to do the show a little later with the brother Hey Rule, but I didn't even know my girl surprised me and got me tickets to the Wu-Tang concert because it's Father's Day this weekend, so we had to move it up earlier. But I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to roll.
Listen, before we get started, I have to say this. I am very thankful, grateful, and appreciative that you took the time out of your day to join my podcast. I said to myself, I said, look, when I start this podcast, Rich is gonna be my very first guest. I
Oh,
kept saying that.
fire!
I
See,
kept saying that. Cause I'm like, man, as much as he's done for me that he don't even know, I said he got to be my first guest. Cause if it wasn't for him, the aspiration and the inspiration you gave me back at the Nine Ether God Fest and the Gathering of the Masters, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have done this. So, I'm very grateful and thankful that you are on my show. Like this is like a manifestation came true. So
my fault. Yo, but you know what? Hey, Rule, man, you a solid dude, man, and I appreciate all the support you've shown the channel when I have events. If I need something, you there, brother. So you definitely a solid dude. So things is gonna come your way in life, and you got a solid future with this thing, man. So I would just say stay persistent at it. It just takes time and it takes a lot of energy. If you got time and energy, then yeah, you'll be here for a long time, my brother.
hey, listen, I was just happy to just do this. Like this brings me joy doing this. I think I really found my call and my purpose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think this is something I need to do. And of course, King Simon, when he told me about the healing stuff, I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and do it because I just think that now is the time to do it. Like I've been putting this off for a year.
Wow.
Yeah, for a year. I've known I've been supposed to doing this a long time ago, but it is what it is, though. But here I am. I'm not an episode or 10 episodes into my 11th one, so I got so many more to go.
Fire. That's fire, bro.
Yep. So today's episode is called "Navigating Through Fatherhood as a Black Man or a So-Called Black Man."
Whew.
Now, I've been doing a lot of research. I've been talking to a lot of different fathers and stuff like that. And I come to the conclusion that a lot of fathers in America are getting overlooked, especially the melanated ones. Because I was reading a study earlier today, and it said that Black fathers have the highest percentage of activities with their kids compared to Hispanics and whites at 41% compared to 29 to 28%. So I'm thinking like as much as they try to portray us as being, bad people and stuff like that, we're actually in children's lives more than ever. And there was an awesome study that from 1990 up until 2003, the active fathers in the kids' life went from 740,000 to 1.8 million.
Mm,
So
mm,
they don't talk about that.
mm.
They don't talk about none of that, but I'm here to shed all that and bring light to that because it's like, especially it being men's mental health month and
Mhm.
Father's Day month. I think this is a very important time to have this conversation, this discussion. So my question to you is, what are the joys of being a father? I know you got two kids,
Yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah.
know you got a boy and a girl, right?
Yes, yes. I just had my daughter in November 19th, actually, last year. Um, the words can't explain the joy. It's like I tell you like this. If there's one thing we've seen in the last couple of years, watching television and being on social media, is that money cannot buy you happiness. And I'm not saying that from the perspective of somebody who doesn't have money and I'm just saying that because I ain't got it, and secretly I really want it, so I'm just going to say that to make me feel good. No, I got money, and I can still tell you that the best things in life, and I know we've heard this a whole life, so it just sounds like a saying, but it's true. The best things in life, money cannot buy at all. So when you what was the question again, brother? I didn't real off.
It's okay. What are the joys of being a father?
Yeah. So in terms of the being a father and the joys of being a father, it's something that has absolutely nothing to do with money. Nothing. It's like so many invisible elements that's present when you're with your children that you start to realize just how beautiful life is. You start to appreciate the subtle things in life, and just that to hold your child, to have somebody like really appreciate who you are, look up to you. And if the thing about it with me is that I had a great relationship with my mom, and I like to pay it forward. And all the wonderful things that she instilled in me and that she did for me, it's such a pleasure to pass that on to somebody else. When we think about our ancestors and what they did for us, it's a beautiful thing to continue the line of greatness, the line of God and goddesses. Everything that they did, we here, who's here, we in this internet generation to resurrect fallen humanity via the internet. And what our children is going to do, it might be something different. But it's beautiful that I'm a part of this long line of greatness, and I have the blessing and the opportunity to pass it down, my brother.
Hey, that's what's up. I talk to a lot of different men who are fathers and stuff, and they always telling me don't have kids. That's like they think like don't have kids, man. Wait on it. And I want to be a father because when I look at my father now, he got four of us, and I'm the oldest. And I remember my mom telling me what he had said to her one day. He said he woke up and he told her, "Damn, I'm really a father."
Mm,
It was like like an epiphany he had. Like he knew he was a father, but he like, I'm really a father. You got four kids that look to you for things like that,
mm-hmm.
and we really depend on our father. When I have something going on around the house, if I don't know how to do it, first person I'll call is my dad. Like, hey, how you do this again? Because learning that from him, I'm gonna pass it on to my kids,
Right.
stuff like that. And I do understand that there's a lot of men out here that don't grow up with fathers. And
Mm-hmm.
that was another thing that I wanted to like bring to light too, because there is a stigma about men who grow up without fathers. They become more emotional, and they lead with more feminine traits than they do as far as having masculine or men traits. So my question to you, because I've been around you quite a few times now, and I've talked to you, had conversations with you. You are probably one of the few men that I've talked to who don't have those traits of the being feminine or always being like in their feelings or emotional. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you get to that point in your life without growing up with a father that you still was able to become the man that you are today and still be a masculine man at the same time?
I'm gonna tell you, a lot of it came from, first of all, certain things just gotta be in you when you're born. Some certain things you could be born without a father or with a father. Some things gotta be in you. And the thing about having a father, I always felt like when I was young, I had so many things going for me, but I was just missing a few of the key things in life that I needed in terms of discipline and things that um, a father will bring to you. And I didn't know it was because of a lack of a father, but I remember when I turned, hey, Ru, when I turned about 20, no, I'm 19, and my uncle came home from prison, and I started hanging with my uncle a whole lot, like a whole lot. And he was an entrepreneur. He had his own business, and I worked with him for a little while, for a year or two, part time with him on his business, and I got to be up and close with him. You know how they say like sometimes you there's this thing called shadowing somebody where you
Mm-hmm.
shadow somebody and you learn just by being up. You say you meet up with them at 8 in the morning and you be with them the whole work day. You see what it's like to work. You see what it's like to never give up. You see what it's like to go through a lot of things. That's called shadowing somebody. And I was just around him for pretty much all day for like 2 years straight. And I figured out at that time, I said, yo, there's certain things that I needed that he gave me. And I remember telling my mother, and I'm like, yo, I got it. I got it. I kept saying, yo, I got it. And I didn't know how to articulate it at that time. And they didn't really know what I was talking about. But later on in life, I found out that he gave me something that I needed. This idea of a woman can raise a man. My mother's the greatest woman on earth, but a woman can never raise a man and teach a man how to be a man. He's gonna have to get that from some type of male influence, just like a man can't teach his daughter how to be a woman. She's gonna have to get that from some type of feminine influence or whatever. And I was always a leader. I was born a leader. You got to be born a leader. You can't be taught to be a leader by no. I was born a leader, so that's just who I am naturally. But a lot of the things that I had to get just to really get me to where I'm at now, I gotta give a shout out to my uncle Charles Preston Merritt. He instilled that in me.
Hey, that's what's up. I
Real,
really think.
real resilient dude. No excuses. Hey, Rule, take responsibility, take accountability, all that fly shit. He was on it, and I got to see that up close and personal. And that definitely got programmed within me.
Yeah, that's very important. No, for sure. I always said that, with a lot of single mothers, not that I want to get on the subject of the women, but when I was dating single mothers at the time, I always tell them, you gonna need some type of male influence, whether it's your brothers, your
Yeah.
uncle, or the grandfather, whatever, because kids, when they're at a certain age, they don't watch what you say, they watch what you do.
Yeah. Uh huh.
They're gonna follow everything that you do. So if you have a young son and stuff, if he's seeing you do certain things, he's gonna imitate that.
Yep.
And I think it's important that I'm not telling women like just go get any man and
Oh
just
no.
to have him. No, you gotta. This man has to be. He has to be what I call the three R's. You got to be righteous, responsible, and respectable.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want anybody around your kids, and it's been some stories that I've heard and stuff, and I just feel like sometimes you got to vet and court these people, especially if you're a single parent, to have them around your kids, because people crazy nowadays.
Yeah. Listen. Listen. You.
Like I don't know what they done put in the water or in that candy spot, but yeah. So I just feel like it's a lot of things out here that needs to be addressed for sure. And I think that even the men who grow up without a father, they still need a brotherhood. And I
Yes.
talked about that in one of my previous shows. I said that men need to either get into a brotherhood or develop a brotherhood or a fellowship of
Right.
men. And it's important because at least you have an outlet. If you're going through something, you're going through depression, a breakup, or you sick or some type of way, you need that energy around you to help you navigate through life, and not just anybody. Like, no, you just don't go around forming brotherhood with killers and thugs and stuff like that, But people who are responsible, respectable, and righteous, like the three R's, you really need that because if you don't have that, they're gonna have you out here doing anything,
Yeah.
and you need these men out here to hold you accountable for the things that you are doing and saying, and tighten you up. Like, hey, like that shit ain't right. You need to like tighten up over there. That's like some real bitch ass shit you doing.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
father talked to me like that.
That's what's
you
up.
know, and it's wild because my father grew up without his dad,
Mm.
and how he learned how to be a father. He kept telling himself. He said that I'm not gonna be like my dad. I'm gonna always be in my children's life. He just kept telling himself that.
Mm-hmm.
He said
Mm-hmm.
no matter what, if me and your mama don't stay together, I'm gonna always be in y'all life because I don't want y'all to experience the same thing that I experienced.
Yeah.
So
You
it
know, real quick, hey, Rue, and this is something. like for yourself, you don't have children yet, and for the young brothers, all the young sisters out there watching, if y'all don't have children, don't let nobody rush you into having children. I think deep down inside we know when we're ready to have children. And I'm not saying wait forever, but I'm just saying like people will literally tell you when to have children because they have children. That happened to me in my 20s. I remember everybody rushing me and my girl to have children. And what it is people need you to do what they're doing so that their life can feel validated,
Mhm.
because people love when whatever they're doing, whatever they're worshiping, whatever they're into, everybody else is doing it. That's when they're like, okay, well, it's cool. All right, I'm doing it, everybody's doing it, it's cool. But let's say if you have 4 children and you look around and nobody has children, you start to question, is it right or wrong whether you have 4 children? Sometimes, not everybody, but some people. So don't fall for the people who need to validate their life, so they try to push you to do something, push you to work, or push you to be an entrepreneur, push you to have children, push you to marriage. So like go at your own pace. Hey, Rue, and everybody watching, go at your own pace. Deep down inside, y'all know when y'all want to make certain moves, and I would just say follow your heart. They
Yeah,
definitely tried to rush me, man.
yeah. It's funny. Nobody never really rushed me in having kids. My mama always kept on telling me never marry and don't have kids. She
Oh,
telling me
right.
that since a youngin. And
Yeah.
it's like in my mind, I feel like when I had kids, it got to be by the right woman. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
because it's too many things that I've seen and experienced. Like people just pick people because they're always in the moment.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And it's like they don't think like, well, how is this person going to be to my children? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I think people they choose differently. I won't say it's right or wrong. I don't believe in right or wrong. I just believe that we make choices that shape our life for the better or for the worse, right?
Indeed.
So my question to you, for you being a father, this being Father's Day, has there ever been a depressing point in your life to where you didn't know that you were going to be a great father to your kids?
No, no. I've always been good. I'm be honest. Always been good with children. Like my cousins, I grew up with when I was young. I remember I grew up with my cousins, and I just always been good around children. So I knew I would be a great father. The only thing that scared me, honestly, hey Rule, was the financial situation. I know I'm a great dad, but I wanted to, because I grew up in the projects. So I knew I wanted I know I did not want to have children while still living there. And this is because I lived in Harlem first, then I moved to Brooklyn. Then from Brooklyn, I moved to Georgia. But I knew when I lived in the projects, I did not want to have children there. I did not want them to see that type of life that I seen coming up. So that was just like, damn, I got to get my paper up because I don't want them to live in this environment. So that's the only thing. But in terms of like just being a hands-on dad, I knew I'd be great at that. But I just knew I didn't want my children to experience that lifestyle, that project Harlem lifestyle.
Yeah, and that's valid. That's
Yeah.
valid. That's fair because you never want your kids to experience something you went through, especially if you look at it as some people can call it traumatic or they can call it hinge worthy, things like that.
Hmm.
And I think that we do need to make reasonable choices before we bring kids into this world,
Hmm.
because if not, I mean, we just gonna be creating more problems instead of solutions.
Yo, hey, Rue, they said my sound is a little choppy when I speak.
No,
Let me,
you.
I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay.
Sometime they're happy with me and Rod Days. You're right.
So feedback. We just gonna wait on brother Rich to get his mic and stuff back together. He'll be back soon. But yeah. Let you know this is episode 11, navigating through fatherhood as a black man or so-called black man. If y'all haven't seen the other 10 videos, they are on my YouTube channel, so Make sure y'all like, comment on them, things like that. Tell me what y'all think, how y'all feel about them. Um, oh, I'm 11 episodes in. Yeah, but I got more great guests coming on for this month. So here you go. He's right back to the stage.
Mic check, mic check. Is that better, family? I don't hear it no more, so I think it's better.
Yeah,
Check.
you was sounding fine to me. I think you was good. I
Okay.
think probably the audience probably couldn't hear you, but
Okay. All right. Yo, you got it real quick. I heard you talk about guests. You got to get Dr. B on here. You got Dr. B's number?
man, listen, I've been
Yeah.
reaching out to so many people. Like I don't want to tell everybody who I have on here for sure,
Mm,
but I got five for sure. I give you two. I
mm.
got King Simon tomorrow,
Dope, dope.
and I got Minister Jew.
Woo!
Yeah,
My boy. Yeah, I ain't talked to you in a minute. I gotta
yeah.
call you. Shit.
Yeah, I hit him up on Instagram. So we trying to work out what day we gonna do it because this Father's Day weekend. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna try to wait till next week. Oh, and I got David.
Oh, the brother. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. That's fire.
yeah. I reached
That's
out
fire.
to him too. So that them three guests are the others out of the six people that I got coming on. So like I said, I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited. I would love to get Dr. B on here. Oh man, I would love to, and Black Dot too. I still
right.
need to connect with him because I know he got his book coming out, and that
Yep.
actually ties into what's going on in this month with Men's Mental Health Month. Cause I watched that live, and yeah,
Oh, you seen when he was on the show?
yeah, I watched that live,
Man,
and
that was
that was a
emotional.
powerful show, man. That was
Yeah.
a powerful show. And it's like I couldn't even imagine going through something like that. And there's so many men out here who go through things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like I really feel for y'all. I really feel for the men who go through so much traumatic stuff because me personally, nobody never put me through trauma. I always put myself through it. I've
Mm,
always been the cause of my own trauma. And I
mm.
remember having this conversation with my uncle, and he was like, "Have anybody ever did anything to you?" And I said, "You know what? No." I said, "No. Think back about it. I always did stuff to me. I put myself in situations because I didn't know how to control myself."
Mm, mm,
And me being emotional and stuff like that and thinking about things and making them bigger than what it is
mm,
has led me to my own self-destruction.
mm,
So and that's why I'm glad that I found your show
mm.
because I remember the very first show that I saw on here was with Dr. B Serious, the Mycelium
I remember
Network.
you.
Yeah, and I've just been watching all of the speakers on there. And I think I told you before, like what really changed my life was that blueprint for God power.
Fire, dope. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah, that was a powerful episode. So, um, growing up as a young black man in New York, because I never been in New York, I only heard stories. What were like the pressures of being a black man in New York? Because I hear so many different stories about New York and how they didn't like your own people didn't like you, then the police didn't like you, and then what was that like? What was that like growing up in New York?
Yo, man, when they say the concrete jungle, that is not an understatement, brother. Like it is the concrete jungle. The thing about New York, when you live in other towns, sometimes you gotta drive places to go somewhere. Where in New York, people just go hang on the corner. So you come downstairs out your building, you hang in your corner, you hang in your lobby. So there's so much to do to get yourself into. So this is why brothers always get themselves into some mess because their mom's busy work. Look at what's going on. Your mom the woman has to work most likely now to survive. The father has to work. So you got two parents working. Most likely you're by yourself most of the time. You're bored at home, so you just go outside. Once you go outside, you got all the drug dealers outside. You got people that have no good intentions at all outside. So you got all these peer pressures outside. So I mean, it's like in New York. I mean, wow, you got to be real careful. Your parents, I feel as though has to find something for you to do. Otherwise, they say idle mind is the devil's playground. So other than that, I mean, shit, you can really get caught up in something real easy, man. Just peer pressures everywhere you turn around, every corner, man. It's something in New York.
How did you stay on a how did you keep yourself focused and not do all the bullshit everybody else was doing?
I'm gonna tell you. So my father got killed, like a week before I was born, and he
Mm.
got killed about 2 blocks away from where I grew up at. So since he got killed 2 blocks from where I grew up at, my mother never wanted me hanging in that neighborhood. So she made it her mission to keep me away from hanging in the neighborhood. So she sent me to a Catholic school that was probably 20 minutes away. So every day I would have to take the train to everybody else just went to school in the neighborhood in the hood. But I had
Mhm.
to go to Catholic, I had to go to school that was like 20 minutes away. So I didn't grow up in the streets like that per se. I was a little more sheltered, and I was always involved in things like basketball and just activities and things like that. But I had like a different crowd. Like that crowd, like it was real rough where I grew up at, like real rough. But since my mother didn't want me around there, I had like a whole different set of friends. So I didn't really experience the pressures like other kids. Like the pressures I experienced was none compared to what you experience if you go to public school. Like I'll give you an example. I had a friend that damn, they keep saying my mic is glitching.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what's up with my mic, y'all. Check, 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 check.
It sounds good.
Let me see. You can hear it, nigga? You
Yeah, I
hear
can hear you. I can hear you. Can y'all hear them, people? Think think you muted you muted your mic.
Family, how I sound now? Let me know if I sound a little better.
Yeah, you sound better on my end.
Check, check. I think that's better. But let me give you an example, hey Rude. So and why is my shit? I still hear it. I don't know. Well, they
Well,
say they
someone
can.
said they can hear you. Yeah.
Let me just keep going. Um, I had a friend that we went to the same Catholic school I went to. And after a while, his mother couldn't afford it no more. So he went to, yeah, they saying this. I don't know why. Hey, Rue, is the feds after you, my brother? The feds after
I,
you.
I hope not. Like I haven't done nothing illegal. I don't
Give
think.
me one more second, y'all. Let me go out and come right back in. Let me do this one more time. Because Rod Hayes usually does this in the work. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so we're gonna give Radiohead Rich time to get his mic together. But how y'all doing in the chat? Like I really appreciate everybody that's in the chat supporting your boy. Hey Rue, you know this is like a manifestation come true. You know, just what did Billy Carson say? Conscious thought times action equals manifestation. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Just having conscious thought. Yeah, just having conscious thought times action. Well, conscious thought times action equals manifestation. Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed. So
Yeah, that's better.
what I was saying was that my friend went to Catholic school with me, and his mother couldn't afford it no more. And he had to enroll in public school. And when he enrolled in public school, he didn't last a year. And he just kept telling me, "Yo, Rich, it's like a jungle in there." He was like, "Yo, it's crazy. Like New York City public school is insane." So when you see the kids drop out, sometimes you can't really blame them. Yeah, I'm still here. Still here, right, y'all? I don't know. Yo, hey, Rue, when I'm talking, could you mute your mic? Let me see if that helps.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Let me see.
yeah, family. Let's see if this is oh that worked. Yeah, that little trick worked. Yeah, that worked. Yeah, so you might have to mute your mic. That's better, right, family? Let me know if that's better. But all right, so let me just finish with the story. They said perfect. So, like the public school system in New York is insane. It's like it's like I don't want to sound insulted and call it a name, but it's insane. So, the youth that makes it out of there, shout out to y'all, because I've heard so many. Even my lady, she went to public school and she was like, she didn't graduate, and she was like, yo, that shit was crazy in public school. So I'm just thankful that my mother invested in my education, and it worked out. It kept me off the streets. It gave me something to do. I met certain type of girls when I was in school. I would meet a different type of girls in school, because we would go to other schools with we would just stay up the hood. So we would go downtown and go to other Catholic schools or other public schools in different neighborhoods and communities. And I would meet a lot of ladies that had good thing, young girls that had things going for them. So I was just around a different crowd, and I was exposed to different things, and that helped me out a lot. That helped me out a lot. And I remember when I turned 18, 19, that's when I started hanging in the hood. Once I graduated from high school, I started hanging in the hood. And I did that for a little while. And I understood why my mother didn't want me to hang there, because there's really none out there for you. So, but I'm just thankful my mother invested in me, for real. Hey, bro.
Yeah, shout out to your mother, man. She did a good job with you, man. She really did. Hey, I went to a Catholic school myself.
Okay. What
Like,
state? What state? Where?
I'm in Michigan.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went to a Catholic school myself for about 3 years.
How,
Hated it.
how, how was that for you? How was that for you?
Hated it. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. The teacher that was racist.
Oh,
She was the first teacher to ever send me to summer school. Ooh, my mama wanted to beat her up.
damn.
And then I went to a charter school after that,
Yeah.
and then it became a public school. And I agree with you, man. When you that's a complete difference between Catholic school and public schools, because those kids was mean in middle school. I mean, let me tell you, oh my god, I got in fights almost every day. I got
Damn.
teased, I got picked on. But I'm grateful for it though, because now I don't let nobody fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like living in Detroit it's different out here. Like you can be yourself, but it's like you got to be two different people living in
Mm,
the city. You got to be two different people. You got to be yourself, and then you got to be the person that nobody don't want to fuck with. Because if they smell fear or some type of like he's soft or something,
yeah.
yeah, they gonna try you. So. Yeah, but I understand why you say your mom sent you to a Catholic school because she didn't want you involved with the riffraff. Cause mom did the same thing too. She said, "No, I wouldn't do that." Then
Mm.
when she sent me to the public school, she was like, "We gotta get you out."
Oh man.
Well, quick story, real quick. So
Yeah.
I went to this high school called Redford. Anybody in Michigan know Redford? They got shut down, right? I went there my ninth grade year, played varsity basketball. We went all the way to the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
Every basketball game, there was always a fight.
Mm.
It was always a fight, and it was a shootout.
Damn.
And the school that we had the most fights when we played this high school called Henry Ford.
Mm.
And that school was like pretty bad. I asked my mom to go over there. She said, "I'm not losing my child." She said, "No." So when she went to a basketball game and she saw like it was like this is the only. It's funny because the one time a mama goes to a basketball game, it's the shootout.
Uh,
Any
you
other
know,
time
right?
they just fighting. This about yelling and arguing. The one time she
Then
goes
it's
to the
hey,
basketball game, it's a shootout. She said, "I'm getting you up out of here. This is middle of the school year. I'm on the basketball team, so I just
mhm,
can't transfer in the middle of a season."
right.
So luckily and unfortunately, the school got shut down the next year. So I went over to an integrated school called Redford Union, which was in Redford, the city called Redford, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And she was like, "Why you had me take you to that school?" Because I went because all my friends was there, and a basketball team was like the best, like one of the best teams in the state. So
Right.
that's why I wanted to go. I wanted to go to play ball. I was trying to do my thing and stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but I understand what you mean when you say like the environment that you in can definitely create you or destroy you, depending on how you look at it, how you allow it to affect your life. So yeah, your
Mhm.
mom did it. Yeah, your mom made the best decision to send his ass to a Catholic school.
Oh,
Because
wait, boom. You know what's interesting and what's crazy? Not crazy, but by the time you have children, and by the time they like, oh yeah, by the time you have children, right? And by the time your child is probably like 12, or by the time my child is like 12, school might not even be around no more. They might live in a whole nother world than we lived in, bro. Like the school system is literally falling apart. They introducing AI, or like we really like hey Rue, like yo, with this parenting shit, we really in the middle of a paradigm shift. I don't know how much people know shit is different now from when we grew up, but yo, like we're literally going to be experimenting with things that nobody has never experimented with before, with a lot of things in life, with a lot, the most of the jobs that's going to exist 10 years from now don't even exist right now. They're not, we don't even know what they're going to be, but they're just going to start popping up. Look at how different the world is now than what it was in 2000 with the content creators and AI and all these. None, half of these shits didn't even exist in the year 2000. So could you imagine in 2040? Could you imagine in 2030? Yo, so we just gotta, we gotta stay on top of things because hey, Root, this whole shit gonna be different by the time our children is 15, 16 and them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, in fact, that's why. That's why it's like, should I start now or should I wait? Because I want to. Because I'm like, shit. Like, damn. Like, can I just find me somebody who I can just have a nice, homely, healthy life with? But I ain't ready for that. Nah, I've been new that. I ain't ready for that.
Uh,
I'm trying to follow my purpose and focus on my purpose. And maybe she'll come along. Maybe she won't. Who knows? But hey, I feel like the alignment right now was me just trying to help people heal themselves, especially the men.
yeah.
And what really brought me to even forming this podcast was mm, it was a story that I saw on Facebook. It was in my city. This guy had well, I guess I can't say that K word, but he unalived this woman because she didn't want to be with him no more, and she had two kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, if he just had the right friend or he just had the right somebody in his life, he wouldn't have made that decision.
Mm,
And it's like, and it's not the first time I heard the story, but this story was like the catalyst for me, like, okay, it's time for me to start. Because I saw me and him because I went through that same type of mindset at the time when I went through my breakup because like I feel like at the time like you how dare you leave me after all the conversations we had and all the stuff you said that we was gonna do and then all of a sudden you don't be with me no more. And I can't blame her because I did some fucked up shit and I can admit that I can take full responsibility on the stuff that I did. I was the cause of the breakup,
mm-hmm.
but at that time I wasn't trying to. I went there, I was thinking with all type of different emotions, right? And when I saw that, I'm like, the difference between me and him is that I had a support system. He might not have had one.
Mm,
And then I was like, maybe I need to create a support system for the men out there that don't have one. And even if they don't, listen to me or they can't, register the information that I'm saying to them, if it doesn't resonate with them, maybe I'm gonna put different men on this show and get their point of view, and maybe they can relate to them better. And I
mm,
think that's why it's important for me to get who I feel and what I think and I know are prolific men on the show. And I feel like having these type of men on the show can shed some light to like it's okay to be this way and it's okay to get help. And it's
mm,
okay that you feeling this way and stuff like that because a lot of us or a lot of them don't have a support system. They're just out here and then they probably got bad influences around them. Their peers probably tell them, yeah, go and do that, yeah,
mm.
she should have did that and stuff like that. And it's a sad thing. And I'm just grateful and really thankful that I didn't make. them decisions that I was contemplating on making because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have had this conversation with you. We probably would have never have met. But I knew at that time, I knew at that time I was sitting with myself and I kept on saying to myself, I don't want to be a burden. I want to be a blessing. What can I do? I talked to God, talked to myself, and then I was like, just show me a sign. Show me what I need to do. Because I believe that God or Yahweh or whoever y'all pray to, I don't believe that we're giving anything. We're not giving anything. We're only giving opportunities. So when opportunities present themselves, it's our choice to either take them or not take them.
Mm.
So that's what led me to your show because my friend had told me about your show back in 2017, but I wasn't ready for that yet because it was my first year in the consciousness and I was still trying to figure out who the hell I was. And y'all was talking about some metaphysical stuff, and I wasn't into metaphysics yet. So y'all was a little too advanced for me. Y'all still kind of a little too advanced, but I'm still learning and catching up. But I just felt like when you want help, the help is always there. You just have to keep your mind open to the help. And then sometimes the help you want might not be the help you're going to get. And so I just kept my mind open, like, okay, what do I need to do? So that's why I want to give your flowers now. Like you have, if not even me, you probably even help a lot of other people's lives. You have literally helped save my life. And whether you know it or not. And I told this to Dr. B, I said, if it wasn't for y'all, you, Dr. B, and Billy Carson, I wouldn't be here because I didn't know what I needed to do until I started listening to y'all. And it has helped me follow what my real purpose is and not what the purpose that I wanted it to be, but the purpose that I'm supposed to have.
Mm.
So yeah, so I just want to give you your flowers, man. Like I really, really appreciate you, the events that you've been having. You know, I try to come to as many as I can. I would really love to come to Stone Mountain. I would really love to be there. But you know, I'm gonna be out of town, and if I could have switched everything around, I definitely would have been there. So, yeah, I just want to say thank you for everything. I really appreciate you, and I'm grateful for you to share this space with me on this platform to be on my show. You know,
Mm.
because I remember the first time I was on your show asking the questions. So, you know, yeah, I'm really grateful, man. You a solid brother, man, and I really appreciate you. And I really appreciate the work that you've been putting in for over the years. I only know you for like about three years now, and you've been putting this work in for like 20 years. So, you know, I'm just in a state of gratitude and gratefulness. So last question I want to ask, because I know you about to get up out of here, because I know you about to go enjoy your show. What message would you like to give to the men out there who are struggling to either be a great father, a great man, a great son, a great brother, a great friend, or a great lover?
Mm. Yes, that's a good one, Avery. The advice I will give them is, oh, you got to mute your
Yep.
mic so you get the feedback. Yeah, for anybody out there struggling, you got to know. I always lead with purpose. If you really, if you're purpose driven in life, you understand that being a great father, being a great mate, being a great person, all of that most of the time is in alignment with your purpose. You want a life that's easygoing. We're in a society that's so overstimulated. We think that's the direction that we're supposed to be headed. But what you really want, what you really, I think what everybody wants that they don't understand, we got to learn to appreciate boredom a little more. And when I say boredom, I don't mean being bored in the sense that you're unfulfilled. But what I mean is when I say boredom, I mean appreciate doing things that don't require extreme amounts of stimulation. So you want to appreciate things like sitting in the bed, it's you, your lady, and your child, and y'all just playing. Just talk, no TV, no internet. To be able to appreciate a moment like that, y'all, is priceless. But a lot of us don't know it because we grew up in a society that praises stimulation all the time. And it doesn't praises those little priceless moments that don't require money. So if you're struggling, I would say get a relationship with your higher self. Your higher self is this inner voice that you, first of all, we got to learn how to recognize a higher self, because you can hear a voice in your head and may mistake it, this voice, for your ego, or mistake it, or you might get some bad advice based on things you fears that you have inside. But I would say every man alive should learn to create a relationship. And if you don't want to use the word higher self, I'm gonna say God. If you want to say God, if you want to say higher self, whatever spiritual term you want to use, get in a relationship. I interviewed Keys one time, and I told Keys, I asked Keys a question, and I was like, the same way, brothers, we want women to submit to us, and we lead in certain areas, we have to submit to our higher selves, or to that God essence within us, and let it lead us. Because we may be like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. But your higher self is like, nigga, I got the bird's eye view. I know. Like, your higher self has the bird's eye view. You ever see, say you on a plane, right? And you can see the whole landscape. So if somebody's driving, you like, no, there's traffic 10 blocks ahead, nigga. Go that way. Go that way. But he don't know, because he ain't got the bird's eye view. He can't see. Then you see another motherfucker coming to do something bad to him. You're like, oh shit, don't do that. He's over there. So you got the whole layout, because you in that plane, you got that bird's eye view. That's our highest self. They see all that. He or she, or it sees all of that shit. So it could warn us about things. It could prepare us. It could tell us what direction to go so we don't run into the traffic jam. It could tell us what direction we go so we got a smooth ride on the highway to success. But if you don't have that relationship with your higher self, you're not gonna get the intel, the intelligence, the intel. So the first thing I would say, every man listening, brothers, Father's Day, whether you're a father or not, we all contributing to each other's lives, and we're all impacting. Every time a young man walks by us, a young kid walks by us, they're influenced by what we do. Whether we have our pants off our ass, how we look, how we walk, how they see us act with our children or with our lady, or if we, some brothers. One thing I never liked getting the habit of doing when I was single was when the young brothers was with their moms, the young kids was with their moms, dudes will holler at their moms, right? And I'll be like, I'm in New York. I'm like, yo, I know 20 dudes talk to her a day. I don't want a young man, a young brother seeing 20 different niggas approach his mom in a day. And his mom constantly got to be nice to them because she don't want these niggas to curse her out, because that's what men do in New York. When the sisters don't want to talk back to them, they get aggressive for no reason because they mad she didn't give them no play. So I'm like, I don't even want to traumatize a little man like that. So I made it an effort to not even talk to girls when I was young who's with their children, because I'm like, I'm not doing that in front of her little man or her daughter like that or whatever. But say that to say, listen, everybody, even if you're a woman, get in touch with that spirit, that Holy Ghost within you. I'm animated by that shit. Like, I'm like that. That's what all praises do to that essence in me. That's what gives me my passion, my drive, my motivation. That's what wakes me up. You know what I'm saying? And because it wakes me up, but this is important, family, because I submit to that energy, and because I'm in tune with that energy, that's what also allows me to have a good night of sleep. And that's what's important, family. We all want a good, I know people that can't sleep without the TV on, without this, or they need they need stimulation to prevent them, because they don't want to face the thoughts that's in their mind. You don't want to live no life like that, y'all. You want to be able to sleep good at night. How do you sleep good at night? You get in touch with your higher self, your God, your essence, whatever you want to call it. Once you do that, follow directions. Trust what it's telling you and follow it. And I'm telling you, you're going to have peace of mind. One lesson we learned before I get out of here. Remember, family, because I know a lot of people, out here stressing. We on the internet, we on Instagram. We think we competing with everybody. We see everybody out there balling. They going on all types of trips and vacation and all that. Listen, ain't no competition. Money is not going to make you happy. Don't fall for the tricks out here on social media. Think everybody out there ain't happy. They front, they bullshit. If you got to post about your happiness majority of the day, that means you ain't experiencing it. Because when you in it, you forget you have the motherfucking phone. When you in that motherfucker, you forget you have the phone. And pardon me, I don't want to curse on your platform, but when you really in it, you forget about that. So if somebody, I'm not saying you can't take pictures and post, but if somebody's always posting all the time, then you know what it is. And sometimes they posting because that's their job to promote a certain lifestyle. I'm not talking about them. But get in touch. I can't stress that enough. Hey Ru, get in touch with your higher self, your Holy Ghost, your Holy Spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. Develop a relationship with that entity that you are, that dwells within you, before a woman, before your mama, before your son, before your daughter. Because if you're not connected with that, every other relationship is just going to go down the drain. It ain't going to last long, and you're going to wonder why things don't work out the way you want it to work out in relationships. And then you're going to just end up blaming people. And one thing we don't do, like I said, and going back to the beginning, my uncle taught me, you don't play the blame game. You take accountability. That was the most important piece I got from a man in my life growing up without a father. He taught me you don't play the blame game. You take accountability and you stand up. You stand 10 toes down. And yeah, you got this shit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him once again. Can't give him a shout out enough. But hey, Ru, thank you, my brother, so much. I'm gonna do a show with Hey Ru on my channel with Hey Ru, David, New Diamond, on Ascending Infinite Goddess. Coming soon. Stay on the lookout for that, y'all. Thank you, my brother.
Nah, man, thank you. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on my platform. I appreciate that solid advice. So, men out there, women too, y'all heard what he said. Follow your higher self first. Can't stress that enough. Trust it.
Yeah.
Follow it and trust it.
You,
Okay?
you you doing that right now by doing this. You doing that right now. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? So
So,
just
yeah.
stay consistent, my brother. I'm gonna reach out to Billy. I'm gonna help you build your platform. Like I'm gonna tell Dr. B. So we gonna help each other. Just like you support my platform, and when I have events, I'm gonna support your platform. So I'm gonna reach out, let red, blue. I'm gonna let people know, like, yo, this is a up and coming brother. Yo, he's solid. Whatever. You know, go on and show whatever. So you know, we gonna look out for each other. But that idea you have of the brotherhood, that's important, man. That's very important. We gotta continue to chop it up more about that, and maybe we can talk about that more in depth on my channel. You know what I'm saying? But that's important. That's a great idea, my brother.
Excellent. Cool. Well, thank you once again, Radiohead Rich, for coming on the platform. Hope you have a great Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day if I don't talk to you. Enjoy your concert tonight. I know it's going to be a blast. Cancel everything around me.
Boom, boom, boom,
Woo.
boom.
Yeah, man. All right, brother. You take it easy.
All
And
right,
all right,
family.
family.
I'll see
Yeah.
y'all. Peace, family. Peace.